Welcome back to Adults Only. This broadcast can be seen every Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. For those that are watching, that is our new song for me and Big Brother Ja. I have to admit, we do not own the copyrights to that song. I repeat, we do not own the copyrights to that song. Today's topic is going to be about nurturing the body. In today's fast paced world, many of us find ourselves caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, often neglecting the essential care for our bodies that our minds require. This demands of modern life, coupled with lifestyles, irregular sleep patterns, high stress levels, contribute to our collective disregard for our well being. Today on Adults Only, we aim to shed light on the various ways in which we neglect our physical and mental health, as well as exploring insights into fostering a more mindful and balanced approach to self care. It's time to reflect on our habits, prioritize self care, and embark on a journey towards a healthier and more fulfilling life, nurturing your mind and body. Once again, this broadcast can be seen every Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. I appreciate everybody that's about to log on. And with that being said, I want to bring Big Brother Ja to the show. Come on out, Big Brother.
What's going on, Chazz?
I'm doing all right. And yourself?
I'm doing great. Whoa, this introduction you have got me over here on edge, man. I mean, I'm on edge because this is a subject that a lot of us must deal with because we have to look at the importance of nurturing our body and our mind. Because when you look at the concept of nurturing, we're just talking about taking care of ourselves.
Right.
And how often do we think we really are taking care of ourselves, but we're really not? So let's dive into this thing and let's look at some ideas that we need to do. And I want to say right off the bat that we all can do these things, Chaz. These things we're going to make practical because all of us, we need help to make sure that we have a balanced, a healthy lifestyle.
Yes.
We can't work out with weights or work out with books and spiritual religion. We got to do more, Chaz.
Right.
So having said that, I think we got somebody want to holler at us. And here it is right here.
Sister Barbara says hotel. Appreciate her for logging on.
Yeah, and let's go ahead, Chaz. What you got to say?
Yes, like you said, this is for me and you. A lot of us, we have a lot of these issues, and a lot of people may think that we're talking down to them. No, it's for us as well. We're both included.
Yeah, because I've been lying to my fitness instructor. I go to a gym, and she saw me the other day, right? And she said, Jahi, we haven't seen you in a while. And I said, I've been sick, and I have been sick with a cold, right? But I really should be back. So I need to take my lazy butt and get on in there and do what I need to do because it's very important. So let's dive into this trash and Chaz and take us right off the top what we got to say.
Truth number one, overall wellness should be very important to us. And with that, I would say yes, because when you do this, it encourages balance from physical activity, nutrition, our mental well-being. It also keeps our body in tip-top condition. Don't you want to be functioning on all cylinders, making sure that you're properly in society without looking crazy, lethargic, tired, grumpy, cranky? You always want to make sure that you're up to beat. I'll go ahead and pass that to you as I get some water real quick.
Okay, because our overall wellness, it should be important, Chaz. That's the operative word. It should be very important to us, but unfortunately, many of us, we don't take our health seriously and we don't look at our overall health. As I said earlier, many of us like to work out in the gym.
You on my feet. You on my feet now.
But that's true because this is what we do, but we don't really take care of the mind, you see. And then many of us take care of the mind. We read, we meditate, but then we don't do anything to make sure that this old broke down, tore up body of ours is getting what it needs. So we have to look at the overall wellness, Chaz. And this is a discussion that a lot of people that look like us, we don't want to have this discussion because a lot of us are lazy. We're out of no, that's all of us. We're out of shape. Our kids are out of shape. We don't exercise them. We don't exercise ourselves. We don't drink enough water. We don't stay away from salt. We have too much sugar, and we don't do the things that we should do to make sure that our overall wellness, Chaz, that's something that should be important.
Let me ask you a quick question because this seems like a pattern. If you look at all of our generations, like the people that came on before us, even after us, why does it appear, and I'm not saying that I know everything, but I'm just asking, why does it appear that this constant problem is on off the generations? Like, why do we not care about our overall wellness? It's like a nonchalant. It's like people don't care. Why is that?
Well, because many of us don't see the importance of taking care of our physical body. We talk about being religious and talking about how this body is a temple. Well, if that's the case, bro, this temple is broke down. This temple is almost shut down. See, a lot of us like to lift weights and work out, and we should. Like I said, I've lied to my instructor and the place that I go to, and I need to be ashamed of myself. So I'm talking about me as well. I need to take my lazy behind and get back into the shape that I know I should be into and quit playing games, because this is very important. We having heart attacks. Yes. We're stressed out. Yes. You know, we're having diabetes. Yes. You know, we having a lot of issues, and a lot of us don't see the need for it because people like you and I as adults, we don't talk about it enough. And this is why we have to go to the second key, which I want you to read, and I definitely want you to talk about that one.
Sure, I definitely will. And I didn't want the previous commenter to think that we dismissed her. Sister Gloria Brown commented on there, so we appreciate her for coming on. But truth number 2, the key to self-care is commitment to self. I would take out commitment and put determination. You must be determined mentally to say, you know what, come hell or high water, no matter what happens, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the best condition that I can. Now, there are setbacks, and I'm glad that I haven't had any surgeries, because when you have surgery, brother, that's mental. It's a battle that you're kind of facing time after time, and it kind of throws you off. So when you do have a surgery, you have to sit back and say, let me do some basic things I can until my body recovers, and then that way I will be able to proceed. But yes, we have to be committed no matter what, because this life isn't easy, brother. It's hard.
Mm-hmm. You know, Chazz, isn't it strange that we are committed to everything else? A lot of us are workaholics. We love our places of employment. A lot of us want to commit to other people. I love you. I want to be committed to you. A lot of us, well, it's true, Chazz. A lot of us, we want to commit to other things, but self-commitment is the priority. We should be committed to ourselves, because self-care, meaning that we have to make sure that we take care of us. You know, we always like to take care of other people. Some of us are just deadbeat, and we want people to take care of us, but yet many of us, we don't even know how to take care of ourselves. And this is why that word commitment is important, because we don't know how to be committed to ourselves. And this is why you asked the question earlier, and there's your answer. We don't take care of ourselves, many of us, because we're not committed to ourselves. We're committed to dope. We're committed to booze. We're committed to social media. We're committed to alcohol. We're committed to people. We're committed to entertainment. We're committed to sports. We're committed to everything but ourselves. And this shows a weak mind. And we want to encourage the people tonight, because we know you can do it. We all can do it. So we want you to know that that's the key. We have to be committed to ourselves. Go for it, Chazz.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of us, we have commitment for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, or even 4 or 5 months. But eventually that evaporates and we can't recover. So once again, I think most of us in society, we may set this goal for commitment for a week or two, but it's like when things go south, we can't recover from that. And that's the main hang up.
This just like this broadcast. Many people know that this is a serious broadcast, and we talk about pertinent subjects that affect us. Right. But a lot of people won't watch it. You know, they'll tune in every now and then, but they're not committed to something that's going to help them. But the nonsense, the silly stuff, the foolish and frivolous things, many of us are committed to that. And here's something you must read, Chazz, because I want to say something about this one.
Some of us are not doing anything, stagnant. We wake up, eat, go to sleep, only to repeat the process. Many of us do nothing. Yes, brother. If you ask the average person, what are you going to do today? They're going to, nothing. They're going to sit back, watch TV, wait until about 2 o'clock, maybe go outside and go get some grocery, and then come back in. It's like we're so locked into our homes, brother. We don't want to do anything unless it's a holiday. But as far as doing things in the community, exercising, helping your next door neighbor with grocery or whatever, it's like we don't want to do anything. It's like we so stuck on being inside of our homes, and this is a shame.
Yeah, we're very stagnant, and that's an indictment on us as a community and as a people, because our ancestors, many of them, they may not have had gyms to go to, but they were doing things, whether it was forced on them or not. They were constantly fit and doing things. But a lot of us we're living that life where we sit back, and we call it being a couch potato, where we sit on the couch. All we do is get a remote and we flip the remote, and it's like our stomachs look like that man, that Michelin man, or the Pillsbury Doughboy, because this is what we do. And we got to stop that. We wake up, we eat, we go to sleep, only to repeat this process. So in other words, Chazz, we're doing nothing, and that's an indictment on us, because we don't have to be this way. And to those who are out there, we want to encourage you, get up off that couch.
Yes.
Do something constructive to help. And we're talking about the total being, not just exercising. We're talking about the mental aspect, because that's where the balance comes in.
And I want to touch up back on the previous one, big brother, just real quick.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately. No, I don't have all the answers. No, I'm not perfect, but brother, we only get one shot at life.
Yeah.
You know, there is so many people on the news who are dying left and right, and some of it you can't even determine. It's coming out of nowhere. They were in good health, they're collapsing, they're passing. So I'm not here to dictate that death is around the corner, but we must take this life seriously. You only get one crack at this, and stop being so timid and passive. Get out, explore, try things. If you have a problem with energy, try drinking some coffee. Get yourself up and going, because brother, we only get one shot at this, and this is it. So I'm encouraging people out there to take this life more seriously and adventure.
And look at us, Chazz. You know, we lie more than anyone, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. When we see somebody that we haven't seen in a while, before we leave them, they always say, "Take care," and we say, "Okay, you too." Or somebody meets us, they say, "How you doing?" And we say, "I'm good. I'm fine." No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not good, and we're not fine. Many of us are struggling, and this is why a lot of us are dying from heart attacks, from strokes, from diabetes, and from all other kind of ailments, because we don't want to have this discussion, because as number 3 says, prioritizing your well-being should be the very height of on our agenda in life. Chazz, that should mean more to us than anything else. No man, no woman, nothing should take the place. No job, no material thing, nothing should take the place of our health. But unfortunately, a lot of us, as you mentioned earlier, a lot of us are done, and we don't want to do this. We should be prioritizing our well-being. We should be in shape, Chazz. We should all be in shape.
And with that being said, I would just want to touch up on that. You will feel recharged. You can discover new passions in life, new happiness. And when you discover new things, you may enjoy these new discoveries that you like. So that also gives you something to look forward to. So yes, we need to be taking this stuff seriously, because you only get one body. Number 4, being serious about our health can lead to happiness. I literally just said that.
You just said that.
When you're drinking enough water, when you're exercising, when you're reading, when you're actually stimulating and moving the body, you will feel better. And when you're cutting back on certain foods, you'll see a drastic improvement. Now, of course, you're not going to be Superman or Superwoman, but the point is, you'll see how much more energy you have, how much more vibrant you are, instead of just, not exercising, and then you just wonder why you're cranky and grumpy all the time. Well, that's the reason.
Exactly, because many of us are as mean as a rattlesnake. Because we're not happy. We front. Now, when we see people, we put this big old Kool-Aid smile on our face to make people think we're doing okay. But if you look inside of us and see how heavy our heart is, many of us haven't walked in many, many years as far as exercise. Yes. Many of us haven't stimulated our mind, whether it's meditation. So what we find is a lot of people who are fronting and dying at a young age because we're not serious. You see, we're like many of us are like kids, man. And I'm included. We're like little kids who know what they should do, but we won't do it. We don't even want to listen. We don't even want to listen to these types of discussions, but yet we know that we're taking, you go in our cabinets, most of us that are in our 40s, 60s, 70s, open up that cabinet and watch you see the whole drugstore sitting right in that cabinet.
And brother, that's sad. We all have relatives that you know that are like that. And first of all, they can't help it. What's done is done. They're on these medications. And here's the sad part, and I think it's a crying shame on the pharmaceuticals. CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, all these places where you get these pills. Brother, they say this is going to correct this problem, and it is to some degree. But there's a backside of that is going to make your problem worse. When you take all that medication and prescription, brother, that also is a side effects on your liver, your kidneys, and it's like, shame on these pharmaceutical people, and they know what they're doing. Shame on Walgreens.
Yeah, this is true. They're just killing us faster, and we're digging a grave with our teeth. You know, the next time someone says to us when we say, "How you doing?" They say, "I'm doing fine." If we say, "Well, show me your doctor's report," I promise you that we're not doing fine. We're having, you know, we're aching all over at young ages. And, you know, and every other day we're complaining about something that is going wrong and breaking down. And instead of trying to fix that and correct that, we continue to feed this monster. Many of us know that sugar is not good for us. We know it, Chaz.
Yes.
But what do? We go into the kitchen, we buy food, we reach for the cookies, we reach for the cake, we reach for the donuts, we reach for all those sweets, and that sweet, our bodies make sugar, our bodies make the insulin. And so what we find is a lot of us are not serious. And this is why this broadcast is not liked by many people, because we want somebody to sugarcoat this thing. We want somebody to kowtow and tell us what we want to hear, but we're dying at a very young age. And this is why many of us are not happy.
And I promise I'm not going to keep going back, brother, but I will address this one. I just want to ask you real quick, what would you say for the elders or for the young folk who have these injuries or surgeries where they just can't get right? What would you advise them with people mentally who deal with surgery and they can't get better?
Yeah, I would say to those who are struggling with an ailment that you can't do anything about it, there are some things that you can do. You can do about surgery. You can do about the surgeries. Once you heal, you know, you get healed. If it's nothing but getting up and walking around your house, don't sit down and be a couch potato until you leave this earth. You can walk around the house. You might not be able to go to the park. You may not be able to go to the mall and walk. But what we're telling you, these are practical things. You can drink water. You know, you can read. This is what this next point says. We must not only take care of our bodies, but we must feed our conscience with things that will enhance overall behavior. And this, a lot of us are fit. We go to the gym, we work out, we're doing everything we're supposed to do physically. Our muscles are bulging, and we should take care of our body. But this thing right here and this thing right here, this eye and this heart is weak because we don't feed our conscience. And when we do, we feed our conscience the nonsense. And this is why a lot of us, we need to grow up and look at how we need to feed our conscience things that are going to help us, man.
Yes, brother. And I want to touch up on that. Like you just mentioned, a lot of us, and myself included, we love to exercise, which is good. But there's a lot of small parts, even within myself, as far as with our heart. Brother, a lot of us are stubborn. We hold on to things that have happened to us 10, 12, 30, 40, 50 years ago instead of forgiving that person and moving on. Brother, don't people know that stubbornness makes you bitter? Forget what they did to you. You got to quit being so stubborn.
Yeah, it's killing us. It's killing us, man. A beautiful queen says peace and blessings. And the only way, and I say back to her, peace and blessings. But one of the ways we could actually live that out is we have to take care of ourselves. Nurture your mind, Chaz, and nurture your body.
Yes. Number 6, we must all watch what we allow to go in our body.
Chaz, I know you're going to work on that. I know you're going to work on that.
Brother, real quick, let me just get something real quick. Give me 1 second.
Okay, and I'm going to read the comment by a queen who says, we need to stimulate our minds. And this queen says we must stimulate our minds. And she's right.
Yeah.
Because what we allow to go into our bodies, it kills us.
Yes.
What we allow to go into our minds, which this garbage, this filth, this nonsense, is killing us as well. But we don't want to have these kinds of discussions because we should be grateful, as she says. We should meditate and be grateful. But too many times we don't want to meditate because we don't know how. We won't learn how. But the bottom line is we have to look at what's going into our bodies. That's in our minds and also into our bodies. Chaz, what are some of the things that we are allowing to go into our bodies that's killing us?
Brother, and you touched on this literally a few minutes ago. Sugar, dope, alcohol, ecstasy, Xanax, hydrocodone, a lot of this GMO meat, soda pop, brother. And here's the thing.
Teach, man, teach.
Here's the thing. Cigarettes, this
Uh-oh.
nicotine, I could keep going on and on. And some of this we can't get away from because these sick elites have poisoned the food, poisoned the water. So some of this we can't get away from, but we can try to minimize it as much as possible. But even with our deodorants, brother, our lotion, it's so much stuff that's causing cancer, even with our underwear, our shirts. It's nothing we can do to really get away from it, but minimize it. But as far as what goes inside of the body, we have to refrain and say, you know what? I've been an alcoholic for 10 years. I'm done. I'm going to get myself checked into rehab. But instead, we pour it on. But, brother, it is so much that I can keep going on and on about that we go into our body. And we know we know we shouldn't be smoking. But we got to keep firing up that blunt.
See, and Chazz, what I'm looking at on the screen, it says we must watch. In other words, if there was a vicious Rottweiler, and we knew that this dog was next door to us, we wouldn't go in that yard. Why? Because that dog would tear our behind up. So we know that. Right. But in a figurative sense, we allow, and then literally, we allow those things to go into our bodies that's killing us, man. Yeah, it's taking, and see, people don't understand that we're talking like this because we have passion, you see. Yes. It's those who are ill-equipped to get the truth of what we're saying. They want us to do other things to make them feel good. And we're saying you and I must watch what we allow to go in our bodies. The doctor doesn't have to tell us to stay away from salt. Yes. We know we shouldn't be piling the salt on. But every time we get food, we pile on the salt. We have to take blood pressure medicine. And then when we get old, that blood pressure medicine, it tears up other things. And then we got to take other medicines. And then it tears up some other parts of our bodies and organs. And then we got to take other medicines. And then we die at young ages instead of listening to people like you and I who are in the same boat, who's begging us, who's pleading with us. We've got to have more passion when it comes to how we should nurture our mind as well as our body.
And here's the thing, too, brother. I wanted to make myself clear. So when we say what we allow in our bodies, we have to eat food. We have to drink certain supplements and stuff to keep us around and to live. But here's the thing. Don't overdo it. You know, if you've had 3 donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, you know that's a recipe for disaster.
But it's good, they say, Chazz. They say it's good.
Yeah, it is, but it's slowly killing us. And also, we know for a fact we should not be going to Golden Corral 3 and 4 days out of the week. But you can, here's the thing, brother, enjoy these things in modesty, meaning have a little bit, but don't pile it on.
But when the willpower is weak, Chazz, many people can't do what we're saying. And this is why we're saying we must take the lead as people and look at our own lives. And we know, you know what's wrong with your body. I know what's wrong with my body. And so we should be the ones that's taking the lead to make sure that we don't keep allowing things that go into our body that shouldn't go into our body, as well as our minds. And so this is why we have to have this kind of discussion, because a lot of us act like little kids where we don't see that we're dying and our kids are dying. And our grandkids are dying, and our uncles and our aunts are dying. And instead of listening to these kind of broadcasts, which is basically teaching the truth as to we're trying to help each other. You need this, I need this, we all need this. But we don't watch what go into our bodies, Chazz. We pour it on more and more and more. And this shows a sick mentality when you do that.
And I just want to add something real quick, big brother. Here's the thing. A lot of people, and I shouldn't have to say this, but I just want to be clear. A lot of us who are in that boat or that category that smoke, drink, and do all these things, don't you know you at a higher risk of dying? Or let me just say this. Maybe, brother, I think people are so fed up, they don't even care about death anymore, brother.
You know what? Go ahead. I'm going to let you finish that. But this sister hit right on the head what you're saying. Some people don't want to listen. They don't care. They don't care. Go ahead. They don't care about death anymore.
Yeah, and she also mentioned, I saw in the comments, she said moderation, which is what I said too. Enjoy these things in moderation. But a lot of us don't care about death anymore. I thought you were taught to cherish life, be as healthy as you can be, try to avoid death. But brother, life has dealt some of us a bad hand, and we're so checked out mentally, brother, from the news, from our jobs, our children, our families. Brother, we just say, the hell with this thing.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and leave this earth.
And we don't have to be that way, because many of us are hypocrites, and I'm included. We're hypocrites. And when I say that is, we're hypocrites because we say one thing when we're around people, but when we get home and look in that refrigerator, and when we look at what's in the cabinet, we see that we are just eating ourselves to death. Now, here's a question that we must ask ourselves, Chazz. Here's a question that all of us must answer. And what does it say?
How does your journey look in life concerning your total well-being?
Only you can answer that.
This is really easy. All you have to do is look at how many people are suffering from what they call a not mental illness, but it's something to where people are complaining about their well-being. And it's not only in Texas, brother. This is in all 50 states. People are constantly complaining about their mental health, brother. They're saying, I'm not right mentally. Something is off. I can't put a finger on what's wrong with me, but I feel mentally something is off, and I don't have any solution. So, brother, this is in all 50 states, all countries. Any person who is alive and walking and talking are suffering from that. So I would say our well-being is not too good, brother, unless you go ahead.
No, I said, you're right. It's not too good. And we're being honest here. And this is what happens when a person is talking the truth about this. You know, you look at the dopamine, excuse me, the dopamine that when we get something in our body, it makes us feel good. And we want it more and more and more, even though it's bad for us, you see. And then what happens is the amygdala, which is a small peanut particle that's in our brain, it gets stuck. And we can't get this thing unstuck. And so therefore, as a people, we live this way until we die. And you have to ask yourself this question: how can grown people, how can older people not stop the things that are causing them an early death? It's because, as Sister Gloria said, we don't want to listen. This is why we don't have many followers, because many people don't want to listen to what it takes to prolong life. Now, we were talking about taking life, Chazz. That's different. We're talking about how we should nurture our mind and body. And a lot of people, as you guys are saying all night, they don't care.
And that's bad when it gets to that point where you don't care. And let me just go ahead and put this out there on the screen. It says, don't let the following excuses exempt you from taking care of yourself, such as a lack of time.
I ain't got time, Chazz. I ain't got time, Chazz.
We make time to do everything we do. If it's, in my case, I like sports. If it's sports, exercise, our jobs, we make time for the things we want to do. So with that being said, if you don't have the time, you're surely just saying, I'm not interested in this. That's what you're basically saying.
You're saying, I'm not interested in myself, you see, because we're talking about ourselves, you see. And this is why people have to look at the importance of putting ourselves first, man. We have to put ourselves before anyone or anything else. You know, many of us, and I keep throwing this out here because this is just an illustration. A lot of us are chasing after men. Women are. And Chazz, I gotta say this. And a lot of men are chasing after women, and women are chasing after men. That's a normal part of life, and we're not knocking that. When are we going to chase after our own well-being and make sure that we're going to be around? And so this, once again, it shows that we have, my mama used to tell me this all the time, boy, you got your priorities all, you know what, up, screwed up. Screwed up because I don't want it to cut our show off. But it's screwed up. And a lot of our priorities are screwed up, Chazz. That's what it is. Yes. Like you said, we do everything under the sun that we want to do.
Right.
But when it comes to taking care of us, taking care of our minds, taking care of our bodies, we don't want to do that. And that shows, again, Chazz, that we got some problems. What about this one?
And I want to just back up real quick, brother. Okay. What you just said, that we're not taking care of. I think, and for me personally, now everybody has a different belief. They have a different religion. I believe, brother, we need to start taking care of what's important, our soul.
Whatever, Chazz. Whatever.
No, I'm saying I believe our soul is going somewhere. Well, this isn't it.
Whatever.
There is something after this, and we need to start taking care of that.
Now, you're telling the truth, and I believe that. But what I'm trying to tell you is, we know this in our minds, but the reality is, many of us are so weak, and we don't want to admit it, Chazz. Okay. We all want everybody to think we're strong. We got
Okay.
a job, we have an apartment, we have a house, we have a car, we have kids, we have clothes, we have makeup, we have hair, we have all these things, you see. And
Right.
people want other people to think that they're all that. But
Right.
when you really look at it, we are so busy that we're dying at a young age and we're putting everything before our health. Our health should be the number one agenda that we should be pursuing in this life. But because I'm busy doing this, I'm busy doing that. And when I drop on the side of a house, holding my chest at a family reunion, and y'all find me in the bushes with my tongue dangling out and saliva coming out of it, and you're going to call the EMS and they're going to say, oh man, it's a shame how Brother Ja went out. He didn't
Yeah.
have to go out like that. He didn't
Yeah.
have to, but he
Yeah.
chose to go out like that.
And like you said on the screen, brother, busy schedule. Some of us, and I just mentioned 5 minutes ago, some of us do have a busy schedule. We have kids who go to school. There's a lot of things, but I will also put in there, take time out for the things that's important, even if it's 10 minutes. If you can't exercise for 30 minutes, exercise for 15 minutes. Just take your time and take it. And here's the thing. Let me ask you this, and I don't know if you've noticed this, brother. Have you noticed it seems like the days and times are just speeding so fast lately? Have you noticed that?
It appears so, brother. It sure does. It does.
And that's another reason a lot of people are complaining about they're not having enough. Now, I'm not making excuses, but this is what some people say because time is speeding so much, they don't have time to do these things. And I say, you have to use your time wisely, cut back, and even if it's 20 minutes, 10 minutes, take some time out of your day to do what you can, and then delay the next.
I'm going to say something now, Chazz. I'm going to say something now that's going to incriminate myself because many of these talk show hosts and these podcasts and content creators, they're not honest. Okay, they're trying to get followers. They're trying to get money. They're trying to do all these things instead of being honest. And I'm going to say this about myself. I ought to be ashamed of myself. I'm talking about me. I ain't talking about no one else. I ought to be ashamed of myself. The way I treat myself, not taking care of myself, not taking care of my mind, not taking care of my body. I mean, I sometimes go in the bathroom and when I take my shirt off, I feel like just running because I scare myself. This is how messed up my body is. And I'm just saying this from the standpoint of I can do better. That's all I'm saying. We all can do better, Chazz, but we allow this right here is really something that we want to talk about because we place minor things over our health. You know, it's these little bitty mundane things that we make huge. It's not that big.
Give an example.
For example, I might want to go get my hair cut every week, instead of waiting until once a month or whatever the case is. Now, that's minor, really.
Right.
Instead of running to the barbershop every week, getting my stuff cut up to try to look fly, I should take my lazy butt and work out and help my own body, brother. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Instead of always doing these very minor things, I got to run to do this. I must do that. This is the problem with all of us. And I'm talking about myself. And most of us don't want to come clean because we're hypocrites, we're frauds, and we don't want to admit because we should have many comments of people saying, I got to do better. But you see how we hide behind a cell phone? Because a lot of us are no good, man. And this is why we want to look at these kind of broadcasts, but we don't want to be honest and say, I got to take better care of myself because I'm putting my babies, I'm putting my grandbabies, I'm putting my great grandbabies, I'm putting my health. I mean, I'm putting sports, I'm putting entertainment, I'm putting comedians, I'm putting everything in front of my health. And this is why we're struggling with these issues, Chazz.
And bro, I hate to keep doing this, but I have to just touch up what you said. You said that sometimes you want to run away with yourself. And this is for encouragement for you and the elders. The elders, I would say in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Brother, like myself, I'm a younger guy, so I have a little bit more energy and time to do some of these things. But you, Brother Ray, and a lot of the commenters on here, brother, well, exercise, brother, I would say because you guys are older, you have ailments, you don't have to go full throttle like myself. Just do enough that meets the bare minimum. You don't have to go all out because when you're older, brother, it's tougher to get up out the bed. It's tougher to do some of these things. So I would just say, just do the bare minimum. Now, people like myself, then there's no excuse. You should be going full throttle and doing the extra. But you, Brother Ray, Barbara, all the other people on here, if the exercise category, just do enough that meets the requirements. That's all. And don't be so hard on yourself.
And then here's one too that we don't want to talk about, but this is something that I'm saying that we encouraging you all. But listen, neglect. Chazz, you know, when we neglect kids, we get angry. When we leave a kid in the house and go do something for a day and come back, we say, that's a shame. That rascal shouldn't have left that kid in the house by himself. They ought to just take the kids from him. And when we neglect other things, we look at our yards. Some of us don't cut our yards, and our grass grow as tall as our shoulders. And then we say, look at that ends. Look at that end's yard. That end ought to be ashamed of himself or herself. Now watch this, though. Many of us have neglected our bodies, man. But see, we don't want to say that. We've neglected our bodies. We've neglected our minds because we're talking about a total being. We're talking about a balance. We're talking about taking care of the mind and taking care of the body. But see, many of us don't want to admit we have neglected our own selves, man. And that's hard to say because we don't attend to our own well-being. And this is why a lot of us are leaving this earth like that.
And here's the thing, brother. It starts off with procrastination. We'll say, I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow turns into a month turns into a year, and then a year just turns to not doing it all together. So I would say procrastination
is coming up. Yeah, that's coming up, Chazz. You can deal with it now because it's coming up. It's on one of our little notes here that we're going to put up. But neglect, you know, too busy, lack of time, and all of this stuff. Oh, I can't put myself. Listen to this. I have time for everybody else but me. Isn't that ignorant? Isn't that ridiculous? I have time for everybody else but me. I can do all these things, you know. I can multitask a million things, but I don't have time for my own self. That's that is a sad epitaph. What about this one, Chazz?
Motivation. Many say, I'm just not motivated to do anything about myself. Well, for those people who are in that category, I would say, go to YouTube, go to Google, type in motivational speeches. You have to do just sitting back and just hoping and wishing that something drops in your lap and you just spring out the bed and do stuff. No, start off by putting in something on YouTube or Google. Listen to a speech. Get yourself. Muhammad Ali did this, and I sent you this, and I don't agree with his logic, but Muhammad Ali said when he was training for a fight, and he said, I don't care what the doctors say. If your stomach hurt, you keep going. If your knee feel like it's gonna buckle, keep going. Now, I don't agree with Ali, but you could tell his determination was there because he was motivated. And that's what it boils down to, brother. When you have a society who is not motivated to do anything, brother, that is a terrible, terrible state.
And I'm laughing because I hear people say this all the time. They start working out and they have a person that's a cheerleader. Yeah, rah, rah, rah. Lift the weights, run, work out, walk. And then when that person doesn't show up or that person drops out, they drop out. And we say, what happened? They say, well, my motivator stopped. Now, this is what I want to say with that. We may not be motivated to do anything about ourselves, but Chazz, when the coroner and when the doctor and they say, I'm giving you 2 weeks to live because you didn't get something. I bet your monkey behind will be motivated. Then you'll try everything you can, but it's too late, man. It's too late, man.
And I was gonna say, and it's not a trick, but this is just how I'm easy able to spring through all these exercises or workouts. And I'm pretty sure you're aware of this supplement as well. Anybody who lacks energy and they're tired in the morning or they're tired throughout the day, I would suggest an hour before you exercise, drink you a small cup of coffee. It's gonna and you're gonna burn through the workout like it's nothing. So for the people who say, well, I'm not motivated, you get you a small 16-ounce cup of coffee. Don't flood it with sugar. Don't put that much creamer in it. You drink a little bit, brother. You're gonna be fired up in your workout, and you'll be able to knock it out. And then you'll see the improvements compared to when you go to the workout. Not on no water, no coffee, no nothing. You're not gonna want to do anything. And brother Ray commented. He says, "Why do today? What can you do tomorrow?"
I want to talk about that because I'll put that up there because I want to say what Brother Raymond put up there is true. This is a philosophy. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll do it next month. I'll do it next year. And before you know it, we're bigger than a blimp. Or we're huge. And see, we don't realize that it takes a long time to put this stuff on us, man. Yeah. So it's going to take a long time to get it off of us. Yeah. And so that mindset, what Ray put on the screen is, even though he has laughing, smiling faces, this is the mindset that many of us have. What Why do I need to do this today? Oh, Chazz, I'll do it next week. And see, next week never comes. So this shows a mindset that knows that the body is in trouble and the mind is in trouble. And it won't do anything. So therefore, here you have a psychological zombie that can't do anything to help itself. And so it dies because it's not strong enough. You can go to all the churches you want to go to. You can go to all the mosques you want to go to. I can go to all the spiritual meetings I want to go to. We can meditate till the cows come home. The bottom line is, Chazz,
read that Bible.
We know that when we look at ourselves, we know that our health is terrible. And this is why we're in the situation we're in.
I have a comment on here says, I am my biggest motivator when it comes to fitness. And once my mind is set on it, I give it my all. But once I'm distracted for whatever reason, I become a couch potato. Love, it's time to get back in the game. Excellent topic. We appreciate her comment. And I would like to say for her, because she does say she's motivated, she's rare. A lot of people aren't motivated.
Yeah.
So if you aren't motivated, and I'm just speaking to the people who aren't motivated, you have to look at yourself and say, I want to live life as long as I can. I don't want to run to death because I want to live as long as I can. So I have to exercise. And when I get in a funk or when I can't go for a day or two, get back in the game. Don't just miss a day and then a day turns a week turns a month. You have to get yourself motivated because nobody's going to do it for you. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I want to read this one and comment on this queen. She says consistency is the key to improving your mind and body. You just said that, Chazz. She says, now this is practical. This is very practical. She didn't say 5 hours a day. Right. She didn't say 4 hours a day. She didn't say 3 hours. She didn't say 2. She didn't say 1. She didn't even say an hour. She didn't even say a half an hour. This Empress says 15 minutes daily will make a difference and become a way of life. Now, this is one of the most powerful messages that we all got, because this is something that we need to do. 15 minutes is not that long. The way many of our minds are, we need to also put something in this noggin, because a lot of our minds are screwed up because we only watch social media, the garbage on TV, the comedy, the sports, the entertainment, the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitter, all of these things. These things have destroyed us, Chazz, and a lot of us don't want to admit it because we need to put this crap down. We need to pick up something that teaches us what this woman is saying. How do we do this 15 minutes? We make it a habit. And no matter come rain, sleet, or snow, we're going to do this, and you're going to see that it will become a part of us. But that was an excellent comment.
She did. And I would just say this, too. For some of us, brother, you know what our main issue is?
What is it, Chazz? What is it?
Our main issues are these cell phones. If it's exercise, if it's going to the doctor, or whatever it is, brother, or reading, or trying to learn another language, brother, if you really want to be committed, because I catch myself in this as well, turn that, like this sister said, for 15 minutes, turn that phone off, and when that 15 or 20 minutes is over, crank it back up.
You just talking to the wind, because we've had broadcast. We've done a month broadcast on the dangers of too much social media. Okay. And I bet you most of us are coming on more stronger now than we were back then. And so it's like we are encouraging people because we know you can do it. But you've got to be a person who says, I don't care if no one else does this. I'm going to do it. I want to be around when my grandkids get old. I want to be around when my children get old. But see, we don't look at it that way because we have allowed this sugar and this salt, and we have allowed not reading books, not meditating, not being serious about these religions and these spiritual houses we go to. We all cry about this is a spiritual temple. We say this body is a temple. Right. Well, man, that thing is dilapidated. It's run down. It needs more board. It needs nails. It needs screws. It needs some of everything. And yet we sit up in these places and we say that our body is a holy temple. Come on, man. We got to stop this. What about that one, Chazz?
Don't let being overwhelmed with the cares of this world stop you from taking care of yourself.
Chazz. Deal with that.
Yeah, because take the cares of this world with bills, our family's not acting right. We don't have enough money to pay this bill. Brother, this is called life. You
Mhm,
cannot avoid these things. These things are going to constantly be with us until we leave this earth. So
mhm.
when these things happen, stop stressing over this stuff. Stop beating yourself up
Yeah,
over
yeah, yeah,
something you
yeah,
can't can't contain. And with that being said, when you find yourself overwhelmed, take a break. Walk
yeah.
away from it. Say, you know what? This is bothering me for right now. I'm
Good
going to
teeth.
wait 10 minutes later to come back to it. But when you overwhelmed and you're
Hmm.
depressed, you're
Hmm.
crying, you're
Yep.
taking medication,
All the time. Yeah.
you're just compiling a lot on you before you know it. Like you said, you're on the side of a house.
You're killing yourself. I'm killing myself. You see, we say this all the time. All these New Year's resolutions, I'm gonna tell you, they've come and gone now. The very things we said we're gonna stop doing, we're still doing. I ain't gonna let nobody stress me this year. I'm gonna stop doing this. I'm gonna stop letting people worry me. I'm gonna just do what I have to do. And we're in the same boat that we were in last year, the year before, because many of us are so overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed with people. We're overwhelmed with our jobs. We're overwhelmed with bills. We're overwhelmed with our significant other. We're overwhelmed with our children. We're overwhelmed with our health. We're overwhelmed with all of these things that we're talking about. And instead of us saying, wait a minute, I can only do what I can do, we worry, man. We bite our fingernails. We pull our hair out. We eat. And when some of us get overwhelmed and stressed out, instead of us staying away from food, we find ourselves in front of the refrigerator or the cabinet.
Mm.
And boy, we open that cabinet up and we shove all that stuff. And then we'll admit, and this is how sick we are, Chaz. This is how sick we are. And we don't have to be this way. And I'm included too.
Okay.
We, instead of us saying this, Chaz, I need to take care of myself, we continue to push this stuff in our systems, knowing that this is going to be our demise. And we know the end
Mm.
is near, but we're worried about our cousins. We're worried about our brothers and sisters. We're worried about our aunts and uncles. We're worried about our children. We're worried about bills. We're worried about this. We're worried about that. And so what has happened is we can't nurture our mind and body because we're too well overwhelmed and stressed out, man. And that's why a lot of us are struggling right now.
Absolutely, brother. You hit the nail on the head. I don't have much to say about that one. I'll just read this comment by Brother Ray. He says, I'm struggling right now on getting back into day exercise routine. I fell off because of health hiccups, but now I'm saying every day. Today I'm going to do it, and the day is now is going to dark. And I just appreciate Brother Ray for that comment. Yes, I understand that you probably are having a tough time. Listen, if you are having a tough time, pull yourself out of that. And like I said, now, and I told this earlier, if you are having trouble with energy, I would suggest getting you some coffee. That'll get you going before your hour, before your exercise, and you'll knock it out. But yes, at least you are addressing the issue. You see that you have an issue, and you're not running from it. You're
I'm
running
gonna tell you,
to it.
I'm gonna tell you what Raymond is. Brother Raymond is transparent. He's transparent. Whenever we do a broadcast, he tells the truth about himself. And see, we have a lot of hypocrites. You tell the truth about yourself, and I tell the truth about myself. I looked at pictures of me about 7 months ago, and boy, I'm as big as a house. And it's
No, you're
because,
not, bro.
well,
Come
and
on
I don't
now.
mean it. I don't mean it literally. I think
Okay.
one day you saw a picture of your face, and you told me you look like a blowfish. You talking about yourself. And so you stopped what you were doing. And so now your face has gone down. But you have to be able to critique yourself.
Okay.
This is a serious discussion, you see. And Raymond is a person that's transparent. See, he's telling us he fell off because of his health. But now he's going to try to do the best he can, you see. But a lot
Yeah.
of us are sitting back because we're not committed. We don't even watch broadcasts that teach us about this. So we're hypocrites. Another queen says, and so what? I may not get a Coca-Cola body. She laughed out loud. She says, in which that's not what I'm attempting to achieve at all. But the importance of it is the cardio. She hit
Yeah.
the nail on the head, man. It's the
Brother,
vascular, man. Work
yes,
it out.
and I told you, brother, 30, 45 minutes ago, I told you, brother, Ray, Sister Barbara, all of you guys, all the elders, 40, 50s, and 60s and up, she's right. You don't have to get a Coca-Cola body. You just need to do enough to get the requirements that is needed for exercise per week. And I looked on Google, you can fact check this. all adults, like in the 17, 18s, 19s, 20s and up, you need 130 minutes of exercise. So however you want to break that down, you just need 130 minutes of it per week. And that's not hard. It's
Yeah,
really
that's
not,
true.
but you got to
That's
be
true.
motivated. And I want to
This
say,
one, yeah, go ahead,
go
brother.
ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, I'm pushing and I'm hoping, Brother Raymond, you can get past that hiccup and get back in the groove of things. Sister Sharon says, people don't treat it like a temple.
Because it's not a temple. see, and I'm glad she said that. We say it's a temple, but
Mm-hmm.
she's right. We don't treat it like a temple because it's not a temple. Because if it was a temple, we wouldn't do what we do. You know, we drink so much. We eat so much. We don't get enough rest. We don't read books. We don't meditate. We don't read things that's going to help us learn how to maneuver in this world. We don't like to debate. We don't like to encourage one another. We don't like to try to get our businesses going so we can help other people. We don't like to try to help these young boys not to go down the pipeline to prison type of situation. We don't like to help these young girls. We sit around as adults, and many of us ought to be ashamed of ourselves, but all we do is sit back and post, but we don't do anything about it, brother. And this is what we're trying to do. His sister says, same here. You know, and Sharon says, added stress, it destroys mental health. We talked about that. And so this is what happens when you're not serious, because a lot of us, Chazz, we have to be honest. Let's just tell the truth.
Okay.
We really don't care about we don't care about our health. We say we want it, but we don't care.
Mashonda says that's so true. And like you just said, brother, we don't care. We only care when we go to the doctor and we see we got 4 or 5 months to live. Then that's when we start getting severe about our exercise. And Brother Johnny, we call him Bruddy, he's on here. We appreciate it. He says, let's talk about how people are so naive to what the government is trying to do with us, with these medications and the food. Open your eyes, people. Yes, Brother Johnny, that could be talked. Just on that comment alone, we can have at least a 2 or 3 week broadcast about this government, about what they're doing to our food and our water and our soap and our deodorant. Brother, you're spot on. And some of the people, like he mentioned, they think that the government is on our side, and these are some of the most wicked people that will walk the face of this earth. And Brother Johnny, I'm glad that you are aware of what they're doing and you're trying to fight it. So I appreciate the comment.
And this is why a lot of our minds and bodies are so screwed up. We put so much stuff into it. And he's right about the government. But what about us who knows these things? What about us who knows that we should be really taking care of ourselves? What about us who knows we should be walking so many minutes a day? What about us who knows that we should be fasting so many times a month? What about us who know that we are going to have to stop drinking so much? What about us who knows we are going to have to stop smoking so much? What about us who knows we're putting too much salt, hot sauce, sugar, pepper, all these ingredients into our? What about us who won't drink enough water on a daily basis? What about us who knows all these things? Y'all got me going, Brother Johnny, and you're right about this. And so I'm saying we have to put all this together. Chazz, we got to do another week on this. We have
Sister Barbara wrote real quick, I have no excuse because I have a free fitness membership.
A free one, man? She has a free one, and she says she has no excuse. She's being transparent too. But a lot of us are being transparent. We don't even want to walk. We don't want to work out. Go ahead, Chazz.
And I just want to say real quick, because we're running out of time, but Sister Brother Bruddy just commented on here when he talked about our fitness. This is a brother, and I'm literally, and Jah, you know this, ever since we've known him, this man is buff. He's always in shape. He's constantly working out. So whatever his mind frame is what we all should have. He's always been an exercise king. So with that, I want to say we appreciate the new commenter Bruddy on here. Then also Sister Sharon wrote again. She says 2 or 3 years to talk about it.
It's gonna take a long time. It's gonna take a long time.
And Brother Ray wrote in here, even in bad weather, you can walk around the house for an hour.
We said that earlier, so we're all on the same page. True, you see, and this is why I'm telling you now, man. We've got to be honest about what's really going on, because we're going to end on this one because we only have about 4 minutes, and I want to talk about. Well, in fact, I'll mention we'll bring this one up, and we'll start off next week on this one. But here's one of the biggest issues, and you touched on it earlier, Chazz, and here it is. The baby is right here.
Procrastination, putting things and people ahead of your health. And it has to stop. Now, there are things that come up in life where we accidentally run out of time and we have to postpone it for tomorrow. But you have to take it by the throat. When you kick it to tomorrow, when that day comes, do it. Don't keep kicking it down the road. And once again, to be clear, things do happen in this life to where you have to postpone. Once you make that agreement, I'm going to do it Friday at 9 o'clock. Be in that parking lot at 8:30 to tackle it. Because if you're not, you're going to keep on procrastinating, and then it just adds more health problems or more late fees or more delays. So you have to take procrastination seriously, because the more you delay it, the more you're not going to want to do it.
Yeah,
And
this is crazy. Brother Johnny says the people who knows think they're going to miss out on something that doesn't matter. He's right. But what's going to happen to you is you're going to dig yourself a grave, and I'm going to dig myself a grave much earlier. And this is why we don't like to have these kind of discussions. See, on a lot of these social media platforms, we talk about a lot of subjects, and that's fine. Those subjects are needed as well. But this broadcast, adults only, we can be seen every Wednesday. We're going to challenge each other. We're going to challenge our people, because our people are dying at a young age, man.
yes.
Our people don't have to die. Our people should be knowledgeable. We were some of the most unique people to ever walk the face of this earth, and still are. But unfortunately, we've taken this Eurocentric mindset and ideology, and now we become the scum of the earth, from the standpoint of we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Our ancestors would roll over in their graves if we were not taking care of ourselves and feeding our kids all of this grease, feeding our kids all of this salt, feeding our kids all of this sweet
GMO.
That's what it is, man. So Chazz, why don't you talk to the people, because we're pretty much out of time now, but we definitely want to let people know we'll come back next week, and maybe you should encourage the people to tell somebody about this broadcast. Don't be a hit and miss person. Come on every week, because you need it and I need it.
Yes. I want to say to everybody who did tune in today, we appreciate it for you guys sticking with us for an hour, Brother Johnny. And I think sister, if I say her name wrong, forgive me. I think it's Salika or Selena or somebody on there that's new. We appreciate you for coming on here. These are for all of us, family. This is for encouragement. It's your life. Nobody's going to do this but you. You have to look at yourself every day. Evaluate yourself. Look at the things that you're doing well. Pat yourself on the back. Be thankful for the things you're doing well. But the things you're lacking or not doing well, take note of that and say, you know what? I'm lacking in not, like you say, for example, drinking enough water. And correct it. Try to get better at it. But don't just not sit back and not do anything as well. And when things come up in life, like I mentioned earlier, when you have to postpone something to a later time, do it that whenever you tell yourself you're going to do it literally that day and time, and don't kick it down the road any longer. This is an important topic. Nurturing our minds, nurturing our body. Don't you want to shake away from that statistic of being another statistic of a black man or black woman who died early of diabetes, who died early of high cholesterol, who died early because they didn't want to work out? Our goal in this life should be to avoid these things as much as possible. Brother, I know I could keep going on, and I don't want to hold the people up too much longer, but this is a must-see. Come back next week for week 2. We're going to be touching this topic up once again, and as it says on the screen, true too. The key to self-care is commitment to self. And you're absolutely right. You have to be determined. You have to have a strong mindset to say, come hell or high water, I'm going to do what my goal is. With that being said, brother, I'm not going to ramble. I'll pass it on to you.
And Chazz is just speaking truth. The key to self-care, everybody, is commitment to self. You and I are going to have to love ourselves enough where we're going to do something that's going to help us in this life stick around. Because if we don't, we're going to leave this place at a very, very early age. And we don't have to. Our children are struggling. We are struggling. Everybody that we know seems to have issues, but we have to work through those things, because you can do it. I can do it. We all can do it. And but like the brother says, even the lack of sunlight, get out the house. If you can't walk, sit on the porch. We shouldn't have to take these vitamin D pills all the time because we're not getting enough sunlight. but also make sure that you take care of the whole body, not just the body physically, but the mental aspect. Now we've got to get out of here, Chazz, but people are still commenting. But we will say Shem Imhotep to all y'all, because tell somebody about this broadcast, because we all need to know this. We all need to learn together. You teach us, we teach you. We all grow together. Some of you don't have a church. Some of you don't have a mosque. Some of you don't go to spiritual meetings. This may be your sanctuary. This may be the place that you meet every week because you know you're going to be taught. You can take these lessons and you can learn, brothers and sisters, because we all are struggling. Chazz is struggling. I'm struggling. You're struggling. We're all struggling. And we can do this together if we continue to look at ourselves and say, I'm the master of this here temple. I'm the master of this castle. And I have to be the one, as this brother said, this will be our last comment. We have to put mind over matter, because he says, weak minds always fail. So be strong, brothers and sisters.
Come back next week, Johnny. Next week at 6 o'clock.
All right. So having said that, we will sign off and let you know that, again, the song you heard at the beginning is from our new album. That's our music, brothers and sisters. We just don't have the copyrights to it. But pretty soon, you're going to see Chazz and I, we're going to also release an album that's coming up real soon. And you're going to be surprised at what we're doing to try to uplift each other. So stay tuned for that. We also have some other announcements we'll be giving on next week about a walkathon and a play and all the stuff we're doing. So Sister Sharon, she says, let's uplift one another. And that's what we need to do. Stop downing people and being negative. And when you see somebody out of shape, there's a way to tell them, you don't tell them you look like a slob. You have to tell them,
come on, brother. You
don't have to tell them that. You don't have to tell them that. You can tell them in love and let them know, hey, what's going on with you? Last time I saw you, there's a way to tell people. So we got to have decorum. So and having said that, go ahead, Chazz.
And I was just going to say real quick, pull them to the side. Don't do it in broad daylight in front of other people. Call them on the phone, because if you do it in front of people, they're going to take it as a shot that you're taking at them, and then that's an argument. So pull them to the side.
All right. This last song you're going to hear is just the music. Pretty soon we have a video coming out. It's called Honey Baby. And it's about the love that a man and a woman should have, especially Black people. So once again, we want to encourage and lift each other up. So tune in next Wednesday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time.
Yes,
the
sir.
name of this broadcast is called Adults Only. I am Jahi, your big brother, and that's Chazz. And we're out of here as you listen to the sounds of cries from the womb. Hotep, everybody. Have a wonderful